welcome to episode 70 of the Centre Circle podcast. You've got myself, Keith, hosting today, and I'm here with Adrian, who's donned out in his North London attire, looking very smiley
100%.
over there. John isn't with us today. He's on another holiday. I thought he might have showed up just to,
I thought, but don't worry, I've got enough for both of us to cover
that's,
both of
that's
us.
true.
That's
That's
it,
true. Yeah, I
you
thought
know?
he would have showed up because Arsenal won, but yeah, I'm sure Adrian will cover that. So
Yes, definitely.
yeah, before we get into it, just want to say thanks for all the likes, shares, subscriptions that we've had. Please keep it going. So right, this week we're going to talk about, obviously, the North London derby. Slot tasting defeat for the first time yesterday. Aston Villa with a good comeback against
So cute.
hapless Everton. Yeah. And yeah, just follow up with the rest of the results that happened over the weekend. So yeah, Chelsea winning at Bournemouth, Man United getting 3 points at Southampton, Erling Haaland on form yet again, Palace and Leicester sharing the spoils, Fulham won, West Ham won. Result that happened today, Wolves 1, Newcastle 2, and Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. We've got a few talking points to cover. So right, let's get into it. Spurs 0, Arsenal 1. How you feeling?
Feeling good. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah. I'll be ready to sing that. But yeah, no, really good, really good, really good. Really enjoyed the I can't say it was a great performance, but I enjoyed the result most definitely. I think it was a very solid performance, should I say.
Yeah, and all the furore going into the game was Declan Rice not being available. Obviously, he got sent off in your last game a couple of weeks ago, and then Odegaard getting injured on international duty midweek. And I think everyone kind of thought, right, Tottenham might have the upper hand now because two of your three
Starters.
starters in midfield
And our backup is injured.
are not going to be there. Moreno, is that?
Yeah,
Moreno injured in his first training session. He's out for a few weeks. So everyone was kind of like, how will Arsenal cope?
Yeah.
Tottenham have got the upper hand. And to be watching the game, I'd say that Tottenham started pretty well. Like, I wouldn't say they controlled the game, but they had a lot of the ball.
Yeah.
And I think it took a while for Jorginho and Partey to kind of
Find their rhythm.
Yeah, find their rhythm and get going. Would you agree with that or different
So,
assessment?
I think there's some talking points for me. I think definitely, and I think it was natural that they were going to struggle to find a rhythm, just because of how Odegaard and Rice performs in the system. So there was a change to the system. We went with a double pivot, to kind of combat Tottenham's ball possession. However, when I looked at it, and this is the thing that I'm going to touch on some points here. This is what a squad's about. This is what a title-winning team is about. When you got injuries, you have other players to step in, or you have tactics that will allow you to get the results that's needed. The numbers are backing up Arsenal right now. Some of these Arsenal fans that were out there, making a big noise about these injuries, and then our transfer window went from a 7 out of 10 to a 4 out of 10 because we never replaced certain guys. You're just being emotional, and sometimes you just got to apply logic to it. And what I mean by that, last year we lost the league by 2 points. Yeah, and throughout that season we did have injuries and we coped. All right, albeit Odegaard was fit for pretty much 98% of the season, and Rice performed well for 98% of the season as well, and he was fit as well. I think Rice played the most amount of minutes or the second most amount of minutes. Yeah. Also, we haven't lost an away game in 2024.
Yeah, it's a good record.
This is 10 wins and 1 draw. That's 11 games undefeated away from home. So I think Arteta looked at it. Obviously, you want Odegaard and you want Rice to be there. However, he feels we've got a squad now that can challenge for this title. Hence why he was prepared to let go of certain individuals to combat
midfield. So
in
like
midfield.
Vieira.
And then people complain about us not giving youngsters a chance. Look at our bench today. We had some youngsters on there. People were panicking. We had experience on the bench with Jesus and Sterling to come on. Yeah? So it was I think there was a balance in that team. So today, I think we gave up trying to play possession-based football today. And we said, all right, you know what? We haven't got legs per se. We haven't got ball retention players as much as we'd like in terms of Odegaard and Rice.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're going to soak it up. We know our defence can handle this. And our defence handled it today.
Yeah, that's very
Handled
true.
it.
And it's like I say, it's good to have the adaptability. Like when I saw Trossard starting in the middle three with Partey and Jorginho, I was like, okay, that's a little bit different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He could have gone potentially with Wanyeri
Yeah.
from the off because obviously that's his like preferred position, etc. But yeah, it worked out well for you guys, and I agree with the point in terms of letting Tottenham have the ball
Yeah.
and just kind of being able to soak up the pressure that they were trying to put on you. I think in the middle third they had a lot of the ball. When they got into your defensive third, you
You just shut it down.
yeah, like,
You just
and
blocked.
Gary Neville was very kind of bringing his point home on commentary, saying that Spurs were trying to go through the middle
Mm.
and they can't
Yeah,
basically
they can't.
because Saliba,
Partey, Jorginho,
yeah,
Saliba,
they
Gabriel,
just kind of nullified it.
and Timber. I think there was another thing in there for me, or not in there for me, but we got to recognise the Tottenham squad's not that good. And I'll be honest, when I saw that midfield, the only two players that I was worried about, I'll say three. Pedro
Poro,
Porro,
yeah,
Madison, and
Son,
Son.
yeah.
Those are the three players. Other than that, the rest of them, they're okay. But in terms
They're
of a threat,
moments, a lot of they're kind of moments players, aren't they?
yeah, like we look at Kulusevski's record, the last was it 15 goals and
Yeah.
assists
Yeah, his
since he's been
contribution.
there.
Yeah, to be fair, he had a lot of the ball today, but again, he couldn't really provide the end product. You mentioned Timber. Personally, I thought Timber was my man of the match, especially for his performance in the first half, like where Tottenham were quite keen to get the ball out to
Brendan
Johnson
Yeah.
and Kulusevski, who's playing in the middle three again, which I still find a little bit weird for Tottenham. But yeah, he dealt with that threat really well, along with Gabriel, Saliba, and White. It's just normal for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think for me, like if we was to rate them out of 10, I think everyone was a solid 7. They done their job to a high. Again, like the Villa game, just done their job, very effective, very efficient in what they were doing.
Yeah.
And kind of respected the tactics that were implemented. I understand why you would say Timber. I think for me, you got to give it to Gabriel because it was the winner.
Yeah.
And I think he made some vital blocks and tackles in that game to stop Tottenham from getting a goal or having a threat on goal. So especially I think there was one where Partey tried to clear it, he mishit it, it dropped to Solanke and
Yeah.
Gabriel was there to
Yeah.
clear it. Yeah. So I looked at the Tottenham. I'm not fearful of the Tottenham squad. They're nowhere near the top 4 for me. They're not going to be ready for the top 4. London's red again. Red as it
North
was.
London's black. Yeah,
You
because
know,
obviously they had to wear their away kit today.
this is it. So,
But,
but no, overall, like I said, it was this is what title-winning teams do. They get results when the chips are down. Last season, when Man City had injuries, you didn't hear Man City complaining about the injuries, saying, "Oh, we ain't got KDB. Oh, we haven't got Haaland."
they got a little bit of a better squad than everyone else, though.
No, I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying, the mindset of champions don't moan about that.
You just get on with it.
And that's it. And that's why I was like kind of upset with some of the Arsenal fans where I'm listening to them on podcasts and the groups that I'm in. Oh, this is why Windows this. We've moved 2 points behind Man City. We've got the squad to cope. We've brought in players. We've got Timber, who never played all last season, so that's a new signing.
Yeah.
We've got the left back Calafiori, that's coming as well. He wasn't there today.
Yeah, he's injured. You still got Moreno to come back.
You've got Rice is back now.
Yeah, Rice will come back. Odegaard will come back. So.
And what was nice as well today, that Ethan Wanyeri got his chance today.
Yeah.
10 minutes. You know what was nice, which I think people saw, was Jesus went to him. Let me do the defensive job. You be up front.
Yeah.
You be the striker. I will cover this. And it was one that was looking after him. But what was nice, he was calm in possession.
Yeah, he didn't rush things.
He didn't rush. He didn't panic.
Yeah.
The occasion didn't get to him. And that's a sign of a player that may have a very good future at Arsenal. He looked comfortable on the ball. He made some decent passes. But most importantly, he didn't get lost in the occasion. He didn't run around trying to foul.
Yeah, and he didn't have long to play. But like you say, he came on and done a job that he had to do. Before Arsenal scored, I would have thought a draw would have been an okay result for both teams. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't end to end. Like
No.
I think Raya might have been the busier of the goalkeeper, especially in the first half. Like he made a couple saves, except in the first half.
Were they
but
saves or were they just basics?
Yeah,
That-
but yeah, you had to be in the right place.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be there. But again, it was the defensive frailties and the attacking threat
Mhm.
of a corner that was Tottenham's undoing. Like
Yeah.
this fixture last season, it was like 2 corners
Yeah.
early on.
The
Arsenal.
goalkeeper looked nervous.
He
He
did.
looked
Gary
really.
Neville was saying that.
He highlighted it several times, but he did. He was pacing up and down, jumping, not giving no real clear instructions.
Yeah, and he just got stuck on his line for. Gabriel wasn't that far out when I think he was inside the 6 yard box
Yeah.
when he headed the ball, and you think, right, that's the area that a goalkeeper should come out
Yeah,
and command, catch it, punch it, just get out of the danger
nothing.
area.
He just flapped.
And he just rooted.
Like, and again, like this Tottenham centre back. If I hear Tottenham fans talk about it, what's his name? Romero. What's his name?
Romero.
Romero.
Yeah.
He's aggressive. That's it. He's
Yeah.
not great. He's not technically great. He's not, football IQ great as a centre back. They've got some good players in there. I think the left back's good. I think the right back's good. I think the other centre back's good. Their midfield's trash.
Yeah, I think so. It's hard. So, like, when they started the season really well last year, I think it was Maddison,
Basuma.
Basuma, and Sarr were the
Mhm.
three that started. And they started the season really well. And it seemed like Maddison got injured, and then it's just all kind of fallen to the wayside. And then even the signings that they brought in, like they brought in Odebert this year. I thought he's done okay in the games that he played this year. Nothing outstanding, but he's shown flashes and a bit of
Yeah.
promise.
Archie.
Brennan Johnson last year came in for big money, hasn't really kicked on. I don't know whether that's his fault, whether it's Ange's fault. Like
Bad investment.
it might just be a big move a little bit too soon for him. You know what I mean? So, and then obviously they've got Solanke in now, who yet to score. I know he's only played one or two games. Yeah,
I think he was actually okay today. I just think he was starved of service.
yeah. He was busy, weren't he? He was in the right,
busy.
trying to get in the right places.
He got that very clever header where he looped to the back post.
Yeah.
It looked like Raya had it covered, but it was intelligent movement. He was physical with Saliba. He showed that he can compete with them. There was one where he nicked the ball off of Jorginho from behind and then ran in and created opportunity there. I just think he was just lacking service today. And then some people was criticizing Ben White.
Oh, really?
Well, like Gary Neville said, "Oh, it's not been Ben White's best game, but it was neither Son's best game."
Yeah, but you're not going to get solid 8s, 9s from every game, and that's just going to happen. And if you get those kind of, I wouldn't say lackluster performances, but performances where you're not at your best,
Yeah.
and your team still come away with a win and a clean sheet in your local derby,
Yeah.
like they're not gonna worry about it. Like it's
This
fine.
is it. I think defensively, today was about a defensive job and not getting caught up, taking some of the emotion away from the game. And you saw that today. Like we didn't get caught up in gun-ho attacks and trying to make it end to end. The moments came up where we did rush some plays, but defensively, the doubling up, like Saka and Martinelli getting back, Trossard and Kai Havertz getting back behind the ball to nullify the central spaces and the threats down the wings as best as possible. I think it was a very good defensive display from Arsenal. And I think this is what you do. You adapt your formations and your tactics to the occasion and to the injuries or your personnel that you got available. And that's what we done today.
Yeah, and just to touch on your point about the emotion, maybe not last season, but the season before when you were chasing Manchester City, you could see that the players were very emotional when they were playing.
Yeah.
Just on the pitch. I wouldn't say they looked nervous,
Yeah.
but you could see like things were getting to them. And that might have happened a little bit at the start of last season, but as the season progressed, you could see it kind of seeping out of the players a little bit. And I still think Arteta's quite an emotional manager on the touchline. He's active.
He gets
but
caught up in the calls and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
but I don't see it transferring to the players anymore. And I think that's going to do you in very good stead
Yeah.
going forward this season.
Most
It's like the
definitely.
players are a lot more calmer. As you say, right, big North London derby. We had a kind of a bit of a setback in our last game. Let's go out there and see what we can do. And you can see the calmness with him. And so I think that's...
I think for us today, that was like marker number 2. First one was against Aston Villa, and today was against Tottenham because the focus around the 2 players being missing and the injury and then the transfer window became something much bigger than what it needed to be.
Yeah.
We showed that actually we can cope, and that's what teams do who are in title contentions. They cope with injuries and they cope with setbacks. And that was it today.
That is true. Before we move on, just want to talk about James Maddison. Is he the real deal? Or have people been blowing a bit of smoke up him because he started last season really well? Obviously at Leicester, we could kind of do that kind of Jack Grealish, Aston Villa comparison.
Mhm.
Big fish, smaller pond, where you kind of get the freedom to do what you want. He's taken a step up now. He was really good last season before he got injured.
Mhm.
Since he came back from injury, say around like January
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
second half of last season, and it could be tying with Tottenham's form as well, that he didn't really kind of get back to the levels that we thought he would have.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't make it to the Euros with the England squad, and then the start of this season hasn't really shown the levels of what he did at the start of last season. So
Yeah.
where do you sit with Madison?
I personally think he's the real deal in the sense, I just think it's the system right now that Ange's implementing. And I think he's kind of victim of it right now. I think if you play him in the 10 and let him float you're going to see him really have an impact on the game. I think today playing him as the 8 per se, I think it kind of hindered him a lot.
Mm.
I'm not sure why Ange went with that option of playing him there. I think playing Kulusevski in the 10. Like
Yeah.
I said, I don't rate the guy. Uh, the
That's
numbers,
fair enough.
the numbers back it up. And that's that indicative of Tottenham right now. They've got 4 wingers or wide players that can't give them numbers. That are not give Brennan Johnson, Werner. That's another story. Whether it's alone or not. Who else have they got? Richarlison,
Yeah,
Kulusevski.
Richarlison, Kulusevski, Odegaard.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
they've
not.
got forward players that are not getting numbers whatsoever. You know,
Yeah.
some will get numbers, but other than that, I think Solanke is going to get numbers for them. But there's a lot of they need to kind of repair that area and invest better, in that area of the pitch.
Cool. Mikel Arteta just been given a new contract.
Mm-hmm.
So his previous contract was due up at the end of the season.
Yeah,
A lot of people have said, well, he hasn't won anything. Why is he getting a new contract? That's a small argument.
yeah,
But if you step back and look at what he's done the last 2 seasons, the progression is clearly there.
yeah,
And a lot of people have said, oh, you're rewarding failure. Well, not necessarily.
yeah,
You've seen that Arsenal have gone from a team that were finishing 8th, 5th outside of the
yeah.
Champions League places to
I think he made us finish 8th twice.
oh,
And we
yeah,
finished
I'm
5th.
not counting the first one
Yeah.
because he took over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like so. Yeah, you got the 8th to 5th, and then now you're going second, 2 points off the league, taking the league title to the
Mm.
last game of the season. It's kind of a natural progression that if your manager's contract's going to run out, why wait until the end of the season if you feel he's doing well and progressing? Like it makes sense, no?
You know my stance. I think we do need to look at him because he doesn't want a cup and etc. etc. Unfortunately, it's all in his basket, isn't it? He holds the upper hand in this situation. And what I mean by that, there are managers out there per se. However, do we take the risk right now and wait to the end of the season, and then the likes of Barcelona's come in, you know, someone not that Barcelona's good, but someone else who's got ambition to win something comes in for him. We was look at Man United. They didn't replace Eric Ten Hag because they didn't feel there was a adequate manager out there that could do it. Everyone was shocked by your appointment of Slot, so it's tricky. But I think we had to protect the asset and also look beyond what's also just going on the pitch, because I think a lot of people were missing what's going on behind the scenes, what he's done to kind of change the mindset and the behaviors behind the scenes and the project that he's created, where now we've got world-class players wanting to join us. You know, they're prepared to say no to other teams if they know we're going to come in for them.
Yeah.
So he's done something special. Another 2, this season and next season for me. And if he doesn't come up with something, then we've got to definitely be looking at another option. But right now,
So when you say something, does he just have to win anything? So if he won the League Cup this year and then the FA Cup next year, are you saying that's good for me?
it's not enough for me, but it's winning something, ain't it?
Yeah.
So for me, it'd be FA Cup and coming second, Champions League and coming in the top 4. I'm giving you my
shooting in the wind.
There you go. Or the league.
Fair, no, I hear it.
And that's it. So, but what he's created something that if this was the old Arsenal, or the mediocre Arsenal, we almost lost that game missing 2 players, defending badly. He's done a really good job in terms of the foundations and raising the bar. And we've got to accept that for some it's not enough, but actually we got that people's questioned all the signings, and if majority of his signings have come good.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have 100%, but that's it. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. And like, I think what a lot of people won't realize is that even though the contract got announced this week, it would have been in place kind of weeks or
100%.
months ago. Like when you sign a contract, it's not like you go in on the Monday and be like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
here's a deal, sign it,
he's
and
got to
then
go
they
to
announce it on the
solicitors,
Tuesday.
he's got to come back.
So it would have been like all strategically placed when they announced it and when it was put in place, etc. So it might have even been done before the season started. Like, you never know. So yeah, I don't see a problem with it. Like it makes sense. He's progressed Arsenal, give him a contract, and then you see how you go. Based on that. And then finally just to wrap up Arsenal. So Robert Pires was speaking to some journalists earlier this week who had some pretty harsh words to say about Bukayo Saka. And we know Arsenal fans of late, if any past Arsenal players talk about the current players, especially Saka, they come for you. So they kind of turned on Pires, which is a little bit odd. But Pires said that Saka lacks consistency and experience in the biggest games, and that he prefers Doku at this moment in time. Yeah, that was just baffling to me.
I think it's a translation thing. And that's what I'm going with. I think there's a translation breakdown, like why he came out with something. But then, and the reason why I say that, there was something he said, he likes the way Doku takes on players.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he was kind of maybe alluding to or kind of highlighting, like, actually, Saka doesn't take on the players enough sometimes. And maybe that's the consistency he's questioning. And if that is what it is, then he's correct. There's times where you're like, Saka, get at your fullback. He doesn't get at him. But they're 2 different players, you know? So that's what I'm going with. I'm hoping it's that, because other than that, Doku, even though he's played relatively well for Man City, he hasn't exactly set the pace alight consistently. Like, he hasn't been consistent in terms of actually he's a constant threat and actually he's putting up numbers, or he's creating danger that creates chances for the goals to happen. But when you got pace like that and you're good at dribbling, you are a threat. You're a natural threat. So I think that's what I'm taking it, because, like I said, when I read the quote, he said, "Oh, highlighting the dribbling or the skills," and Saka hasn't got that. So I'm going for a translation issue.
Yeah, so he had actually come out and clarified. He said, "A while ago, I was asked to compare him to another player. I said the other player had better skills in some areas. This does not mean that the other player is better than Saka." So yeah, when you've got a microphone in front of you, you've got to be careful what you say, man, to the T, because people can twist it.
And we're recorded on, we're held to our words, like you're cool for Liverpool. But anyway,
I still stand by it, as I said. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Speaking of Liverpool, so yeah, Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. It was a tough watch. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I sat down. I was like, fresh from the international break.
Yeah.
Good to have football back.
Yeah.
3 wins on the spin. Clean sheet.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest at Anfield.
Easy win.
Easy win.
Easy.
I'm not even an easy win, but I was confident of coming away with the 3 points.
Yeah. I was confident as well. I was like, in my other group, I was like, yep, 3 points for you lot. That's football though, ain't it?
Boy, was I wrong. So we were good in the defensive third. We were good in the middle third. Final third, I've never seen Salah look so bad. It was really bad. It was just collectively had the possession, controlling the play, but it's like as soon as they got into that final third,
no ideas.
It was just like there was no cohesion between the players. It looked like a new manager's first game with a new set of players. And like he had told them this is what he wanted them to do, and they must have been in the change room looking at each other a little bit confused, and they just couldn't do it, and the reason why I'm more baffled about that performance is how well they played against Man United 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And granted, it wasn't a great Man United team, and Nottingham Forest were very disciplined,
Yeah,
knew what they had to do, got in their banks of fours or fives when they needed
yeah,
to. Low block, it happens, isn't it?
yeah.
Like, and it will happen again throughout the season. But it was just like they were just void of ideas, and like everything was rushed. Even Trent, the balls he were playing, like he started off well, keeping it simple.
Did he start Trent left back?
No, started
Oh,
right back. Yeah,
so,
he
so I
started the
didn't see
same
the
team.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he started the same team
Okay, okay. So
that
I
played
didn't
at
see.
Man United, and yeah, like Salah, Jota, Diaz, none of them had a good game. So wasn't his best game.
Mm.
McAllister was very bitty. He was getting a lot of fouls in the first half, so he was like on the floor a bit. You could see he was like his head wasn't in it. Gravenberch had a good game for just as well as he's done for the last few games, and even defensively, like Van Dijk and Konate weren't really troubled
Mm.
too much.
And
But
injected pace.
I give credit to Nottingham Forest. As I said, they were very resolute in their defending. It's like the opposite of what I was talking
Yeah,
about with
yeah, yeah.
Liverpool. They knew what their positions were. They knew how to defend, etc. And then on the hour, Slot makes a triple change. So he takes off Jota for Nunes. That's fine. Takes off McAllister for Conor Bradley.
Mm.
And when people saw Conor Bradley on the touchline, they were like, "Oh, is Trent coming off again?" For like, yeah,
Yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah. But he took off McAllister, and then Trent moved into that midfield three,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and then Gakpo came on for Diaz, which was a bit of a like for like. But you can see, even though we weren't creating much positively, it was settled. Like we were on the ball, and that treble sub just kind of disjointed things a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah.
And I even said McAllister weren't having the best game offensively, but what he's really good at is his positionally.
Yeah.
He's there, and
Just
like,
nullifies a lot of
yeah,
attacks. And
he knows when to cut things out, when to shuffle
Yeah.
across, when to press, when to stand off, etc. And swapping him for Trent in that instance, I can see why he wanted to do it, because what Trent can offer going forward. And like I say, we were knocking on the door. Like
Yeah.
when he made that sub, I was like the goal's gonna come.
Yeah.
The goal's gonna come. But it didn't come.
And then
It didn't come for Liverpool. It came for Nottingham Forest, and I must say it was a very good goal. So the ball broke out to
because he
Elanga,
brought on Elanga
and Cho, like at separate times, but within about 10 minutes of each other. So Elanga's on the right hand side. He picks up the ball, and he plays like a sweeping pass
Yeah,
out
yeah,
to
yeah.
Cho. Like the pass was really good.
Conor
And even
Bradley.
when he picks up the ball,
A lot of work.
Cho, yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. I'm not thinking a goal's gonna come from this. But he goes through, cuts inside Bradley, Konate stands off him a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And then he curls one into Alisson's left-hand side. And I got to give a bit of criticism to Alisson as well there, because I think he thinks it's going wide.
Yeah.
So he doesn't do a dive. You know that kind of knee slide thing
Yeah,
that
yeah,
goalkeepers do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then he just saw it nestling in the net. I was
Posted in.
like,
It was right in the corner though, because it was posted in.
Yeah, right in. And then after that happens, makes another sub. So he takes off Konate, brings on Curtis Jones to go midfield. We essentially go three at the back. By that time,
Game's done.
they've just shut up shop in it.
Yeah,
So it's just one of those games where you're just trying to create something,
Yeah.
but you've got to try and get past the low block. So
Yeah.
you're getting the ball, passing it infield,
Yeah,
passing
yeah.
it back, passing it out wide.
Yeah.
It comes back infield because you just can't. You
There's
can't
no
break
space.
it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't break
I
it
think-
down.
Do you think that's where? Because is that if you gave Curtis Jones, I know he's injured, more minutes? Do you think he's the one that picks up pockets in between the opposition's defense and midfield, and that can cause a little problem? Because when I look at Szoboszlai, he's good at running into the box and running onto the end of things and driving the ball forward. But in terms of someone taking the ball on the back foot in those pockets, you haven't got a midfielder like that at the moment, have you?
Yeah. To be fair, I wouldn't say that's more Curtis's role, but I think if Elliot was fit, I think he would have been perfect for that game. Bring him on, and like he likes to do that. He likes the ball. He's like, give him the ball. He will play a ball over the top. He will play a through ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we were missing.
He fractured his foot, right?
Yeah, he fractured his foot on
so it's
under
happened.
21.
Because funny enough, I was thinking about, I was like, even though I'm not, he's a very good player. I'm not. He's not elite or whatever, or I see anything
He's,
amazing coming
he's
from.
tidy.
But he's tidy,
Yeah.
and he's a very good squad addition player. And like you said, those little pockets, receiving the ball on the back foot in those areas, and turning and holding on to it to play the little dink or the little threaded through ball. I think you did miss that yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. And you're going to need that creator in certain times. It can't always be Salah
Yeah,
to create from out wide right.
yeah,
You need someone in that middle three who can just give you that little bit of magic.
yeah,
Because obviously you can get it from Trent as well sometimes,
yeah,
but it can't be Trent or Salah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a team game, etc. So, yeah, I know a lot of people are kind of joyous that Liverpool lost, and it's like, oh, slot ball's not as good as what it makes out. But you got to think about it. Slot's a new manager, got a whole new coaching staff.
Yeah,
He's got 9 points out of 12
yeah.
from his first
Four
four games.
Yeah,
Can't really sniff at it. I think the acid test now is going to be right from now for the next, well, until kind of, like we said, December, January
yeah,
time.
yeah.
The games are coming thick and fast. So we go into Champions League on Tuesday.
Yeah,
We got Premier League next week.
yeah,
Then we got League Cup. Then we got Champions League. Then we
Yeah.
got Premier League.
yeah,
The games are coming thick and fast. So
Yeah.
you had three games where you had a week's rest between
Yeah.
all three games. You done
Now-
well. Now show me if the management have got it right in appointing you as manager.
But you know, and like you highlighted that, and it just came to. I was reading some like kind of responses, and some little. And this is what I'm saying. The fan base sometimes are wild. Ah, that's what happens when you don't rotate the squad. But I know if you had rotated the squad and you lot had lost, oh, this is what happens when you rotate the squad. Like it's football. Like
It
you
happens,
said,
innit?
it happens. Like Thingy rode their luck. They were very defensively sound. It wasn't everyone's day that day. And then Nottingham Forest, so I hit you on the break and got the winner.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And if this is our worst game of the season, it's not a bad time to have it. You know what I mean? Considering Arsenal play Man City next week,
Mm.
if it's a draw
Then
or one of you get the points and we hopefully win next week, that defeat doesn't really mean much. So
and like fun and joke, like that aside, and this is my real reason why I wouldn't have Liverpool as title winners. It's just because those couple players you haven't filled the ones that takes the ball in terms of good at ball retention. You haven't filled that space yet. You haven't found someone to do that. You haven't found another number 6 to kind of relieve that is good on the ball like Gravenberch. Even though
Yeah.
Gravenberch, no one saw this.
yeah,
in
it counts,
slots. Yeah. So you haven't got because everyone had questions about Endo. Endo, to be fair, he had a decent season last year. Like,
yeah, he was right. Yeah,
he was all right.
took him a while to get up to speed,
But once
yeah.
he got up to speed, he was actually okay. So you haven't found another number 6 yet. The issue, it's unfortunate for Gakpo because Diaz is better than Gakpo. However, for me, he had a very good international tournament, and actually his pre-season looked all right.
Yeah, and he scored the last international break as well.
So,
But the thing is, like I know people question the rotation, but it's going to happen now. Like
Yeah.
you can't play the same 11 week in,
Mhm.
like two games a week. So the rotation's going to happen, and we'll see how those players who haven't started how they adapt to coming in. I think Konate and Van Dijk will play a lot of games together.
yeah.
But when you're looking at your midfield and your front three, I think there'll be a lot of not
Change.
a lot of change, but
One or two
Yeah.
here and there for the game, and maybe it's the same at the start, but then come the 70th minute,
yeah,
it comes off.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, Slot's kind of seen that it's not as easy
Yeah.
as the first 3 games, but I'm still not kind of thinking there's a problem
Yeah.
or it's going to be like a downward spiral. Like the players are good enough to
Oh, yeah, and the
challenge
system's
and
good enough.
compete. Slot even said it's different because it's the first team we've faced with a low block, and I think coming from the Dutch league, and he'd even said in interviews, he's like, right, when you play teams from like 1 to 8, you know it's going to be competitive. When you play teams from 9 to 18 in Dutch league, he's like, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
So I think playing
Adapting to
a
that,
team
yeah.
with a low block and having to adapt how you set your team up, I think it's good for him that it's happened quite early.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying he had the mindset of playing a lower
Yeah.
ranked team in the league is going to be easy, but now he's seen it and how they set up. He can be like, right, this is what I need to do now for teams that may set up like Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
In the future. So yeah, not a great win. Maybe if they won, I might have won a Liverpool top today. But yeah,
So it goes.
that's how it goes. How it goes. Moving on to the other side of Merseyside. Aston Villa 3, Everton 2. What's going on with Everton, man? Like,
This is why I had Villa as like in my top 4 above Chelsea, but Everton, it's just the squad's not good enough. However, it's good enough not to be relegated because the other 3 are bad.
you say that, but people always say you're never too good to go down, and we've seen teams in the past who have been hit with that label go down.
I think they've just got enough to get more points than Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich. Not much more, but
They're going to be scraping it.
they're going to be scraping it. You've got championship defenders in their team. That's me being brutally honest. You've got championship defenders in their team. You've got championship midfielders in their team. And they're not those ones that are Premiership quality. No, they're just championship quality.
The one that could make the jump, etc. Yeah, like we said, like Ashley Young, 30 plus. Tarkovsky, best years are behind him. Keane, best years are definitely behind him. And Mikolenko is just okay in it. Like he's dependable, but he's not gonna set the world alight. But fair play to them. Like they did a couple of weeks ago, took the lead. So McNeil robbed Onana, who was playing against his former team. That's a bit rough on him. Drives through, and it wasn't a weak shot, but I thought Martinez should have done a lot better with that. And he did look quite frustrated at himself when he saw the ball in the back of the net. And again, that goal was a bit against the runner play.
Yeah.
And like Villa went 1-0 down, but they still kind of pressed forward.
Yeah.
And then they got caught out from a McNeil cross. Calvert-Lewin rose up highest and headed it in past Martinez. There was a bit of a look at VAR, but he was clearly onside when you saw the second angle.
Yeah.
On the first angle, it looked like he might be
Offside.
ahead of play. But they go 2-0 up, and you think, surely not again. Surely not.
Enough.
But Watkins should Pickford have done better with this? Should he, like, I don't know, should he have come out and claimed this cross? Yeah. But anyway, Watkins headers, Villa back in the game, makes it.
Yeah, no, you know what it was? It's not that Pickford should have came. Pickford was at the near post. But it was too close to the near post.
Right.
And then it went to the back post, which made it so easy for Watkins. He was scrambling to get back. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, why would you covering that near post so tight? Like, but anyway, and that's where we are.
Everton go in 2-1 up at half time. And then, who was it? Harrison tries to control a ball out of the air in his box.
We forgot about the key substitution as well, though.
Ross Barkley. Okay, so
coming on for Onana, like.
To be fair, I wouldn't say he changed the game.
No, but he gave them more control of the ball.
And Onana looked like he was, I don't know, do you think I don't want to say the occasion got to him because he was at home. He scored 2 in 3 games. Like, he should have been comfy. Maybe someone rattled him.
Because people forgetting that towards the end of the last season, Dyche weren't playing him. He weren't starting him. I think he was on the bench for like 9 of the last 12 games or something like that.
Are you saying he'll get there, but not there yet?
He's not there yet. I think he's just one of those players, when I've watched him, he's an early guy. He's got the right attributes, but I don't think he's got the IQ to support the attributes that he has. You know, strong, quite powerful in his running, decent technique. But it's just how he applies it in the game. And I think yesterday it just was like, maybe the occasion got to him.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah. So
Barkley comes on for another half time.
Harrison.
And then, Harrison tries to control a ball. Or he tries to cut out a long ball, basically. Yeah. And it comes off his shin or his heel or his boot and falls right to Watkins.
Yeah.
Who, puts it in the back of the net. And I think it's good for Watkins. Like, he's had big chances in
Over the
all
last
three.
few
Yeah,
games,
in
yeah.
all basically in all three games, he's had
Yeah.
chances where he should have scored. So yeah, it's good for him to kind of finally get on the score sheet. And then he should have had a hat trick
Yeah.
before Villa scored their third. And Rodgers just played it a bit too heavy
Yeah.
across the box. And Watkins wasn't happy. You get like, just
Yeah,
dictating,
yeah.
like, come on, what's going on? Play a better ball, etc. And then on the 69th minute, Duran comes on. I know there's been a lot of talk about Duran, obviously.
Bigger clubs wanted him.
A lot, yeah. Apparently, there were 30 bids for him. I don't know how true that is, but there were 30 bids for him in a transfer window. But I think the reason why they said no was because going into Champions League,
Yeah.
you need at least two good strikers, don't
Yeah.
you? And I know he's only started 3 or 4 Premiership games, but when he has started, I think only Haaland had a better minutes to goals ratio
Yeah.
than him. Shown what he can do. And then in the 76th minute, he gets a short pass from Ross Barkley.
Yeah.
30, 32, 33, 34, maybe even 35.
And what was interesting, because this week they've been voicing concerns about the lack of goals from outside the box.
This is it.
And
yeah.
that was inch perfect.
You see a goal and you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I never expected it. Like, it's just one of them ones. Like, what a hit. And obviously, I don't know whether he meant to put it in that corner or the other corner, but the execution was perfect. And like, I saw a steal from up above behind Pickford's goal.
Yeah.
And Duran was like, it looked like he was like 10 yards to the right of the post.
Yeah.
And the way the ball just curled in.
Yeah.
It was a tremendous strike.
I think what was good for me about Villa, and this is them maturing, and what Emery's doing, which is really well, is how they managed the game. They didn't get thrown off by the 2 goals. They didn't become desperate. They just continued to play
football. Yeah.
And then that's why they brought off because it were end to end, and they brought off because Ross gives them more control of the ball.
Yeah.
He's a bit press resistant, so he's not scared to hold onto the ball, dribble past the guy, and do a round the corner or in between the line passes. People's got to respect McGinn. McGinn had a very good game down on the left. Was it the right? The right. He played on the right. He played on the right.
Yeah.
He played right off the midfield.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Very good. He was very effective. He was a threat. Took up really good positions. I think he had a very good game as well. Konza just he looked like he's going from strength to strength. He's becoming more confident as a centre back. And he's just anticipating and reading danger. He nullified a lot of attacks. He won his physical duel with Calvert-Lewin. I thought he had a very good game.
Yeah, I'm not saying it pains me to say, but Tielemans had a good game as well. Like,
yeah,
I've always kind of said, what would he bring to like a better team? And he's slowly proving me wrong. Fitness is the key.
Fitness is a big thing for him. I think when you look at him, he can, depending on his diet, I think when he first joined, he looked a bit heavy.
Yeah.
And when he first joined him, and now he looks like he's in shape.
And if you compare him and Maddison, both leaving Leicester,
yeah,
he's a little bit ahead of him.
So, but I just think that right now, Villa's just playing a system of football that creates a lot of pressure for the opposition. They can play in the final third and not lose it because everyone's comfortable. Quite a lot of them are comfortable on the ball. I am surprised at, like, what's his name? The left back's performance for Villa.
Luca Dean.
I thought he was going to get dropped, and he's been playing that left back role really well. That's reducing Martin to 20 minutes.
Yeah, minutes. I wouldn't say pity minutes, but the fact that he done so well last season at Dortmund.
Yeah.
And hasn't been able to kind of nail down a regular first team start. It might be being blooded in
for the system, but thing he's doing himself, he's doing himself a big favour in terms of the performances he's putting in each week for Villa so far. So
yeah, definitely. And Rodgers, like we say, is doing well. Don't be surprised if David Moyes is Everton manager at the end of the season. Just throwing it out there.
Good chat.
Just throwing it out.
That's a good chat.
Yeah, I think Dyche has either I don't think he'd lost the dressing room, but there's something not right for going 2-0 up 2 games in a row and then losing 3-2 both games. Something, yeah, something missing. And they just got a bit panicky. They went 2-0 up and they're just like, oh, what
Yeah,
do we do
yeah, yeah.
now? Like Diddy Heights kind of thing.
And it's an old team as well. It's not a young team.
Yeah, very.
It's not a young team.
Yeah, they haven't brought well. But you can see they're missing Branthwaite. I don't know how long he's injured for, but one player like
That's not
Branthwaite,
enough.
yeah, Branthwaite's injured, Brozier's injured. Like he's not really going to come in and
Yeah,
get you like
yeah, yeah.
15 Prem goals, is he? Seamus Coleman.
They brought the French kid. What's his name? Is it Decore? What's his name?
No one on.
Not Decore. What's his name? They brought a new French kid.
Can't see him on the bench.
He came on, but again, this is like, what's
Oh,
Dyche's purpose? Like, are you blooding new players to move you forward, or you're playing the same guys who's not going to help you move forward whatsoever? Because what? No, they did play the new midfielder. So
it's going to be tough for them. Like they've got a lot of off the field issues. They're
with
trying to find,
Mangala.
they're trying to find new owners for the club.
Mm.
It is tough, but yeah, it's gonna be tricky for them. All right, moving on to last night's game. Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 1. I wouldn't say this was smash and grab, but Bournemouth will feel very aggrieved that they didn't get anything
100%.
out of this game.
Yeah.
Considering how well they played. So we've kind of been critical of Chelsea's defence. And it might just take them a while. You can see signs of Fofana and Colwill getting there. There's signs. I didn't say the signs were big or they're.
I can't see the signs. But
I think they'll get. I think they'll get there. Disasi at right back, I didn't understand. Like it was a weird one for me. But yeah, Bournemouth, they came out the guns. Sorry, they came out the guns. They came out the blocks, guns blazing. Like they were like, right, we're the home team. You might be a multi-million-pound form team, but we're gonna come out and show you what we can do. And they played really well. The Tavernier Cliver hit the crossbar before they got the penalty. Penalty for me was Stonewall.
Yeah,
I'm in a group with a Chelsea fan who didn't think it was a penalty. And I was like, come on.
Fofana had a bad game, actually. He was poor.
Yeah, he was the one who played it back, wasn't he? Yeah.
He played it, but he was misplacing passes throughout the entire game.
So yeah, Bournemouth get a penalty in the 38th minute, it says here. Someone just doesn't look
confident. He telegraphed that penalty. Everyone knew
in my head, I was like, he's not going to score.
Yeah.
I want him to score. He's not going to score.
Yeah.
And fair play, it was a good save by Sanchez. Like, it was the right height, etc. But he had to get there, innit? And he done there.
Yeah, where?
It went in the middle. Like, he had to stretch a little bit.
Keith, you need to watch that penalty again. It was right on him. He didn't have to. It wasn't in the corner. It was right. Yeah, it was a bad penalty. It was an awful penalty.
Yeah, it wasn't a great penalty.
Don't get me wrong. He saved it, but yeah, that was a poor penalty.
Yeah, and then you think Chelsea are gonna nick this. Yeah. Don't know when it's gonna come, but it's gonna come. And then even in the second half, like Bournemouth are still creating chances.
Yeah,
Sanchez is having to work.
Ran out of ideas, though, didn't they?
We were talking in the group about what Chelsea's kind of issues were. And we kind of said the same thing. Like, if it wasn't Palmer or it's not Madueke, their build-up looks very slow and a little bit laboured. Like, you're not... Like, Caicedo is not the guy who's going to bring the ball through in midfield and make things work. And they started Vega.
I thought Vega had a good game.
I don't know, man. I saw glimpses, but I was like, again, he didn't look like he can be the person that can be the game changer. And
I didn't see him as a game changer. Yeah. But what I did see from him, and I'm not saying, he's an amazing talent or this, but he showed a good level of calmness and game IQ. Like he was just picking up. He was always available to receive the ball, and he was just making the passes very simple throughout the game, very Rodri like. Just kept it really simple throughout the game. He never really got involved in physical tussles,
Yeah.
and that's what I would like to see what it would be like facing a very physical midfielder. But he was there, just knocking it. But then the issue that we were highlighting was the Chelsea players don't seem to know the system and where to be. So there was a lot of misplaced
Yeah,
passes
there
because
was.
someone was too far, someone was too deep, someone was too wide. It was really bizarre. But attacking wise, Chelsea's got so much threat off the bench that someone can change the game, and that's what we saw.
Yeah.
That
And this is it. So Sancho was brought on at half time for Pedro Neto. I thought was okay. Like he wasn't great. Like the first half, Chelsea all round weren't brilliant.
yeah, I think that's the system. You had to get him involved. Did you see one point he came over to get involved in a short free kick for no reason,
Yeah.
and Palm was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he was just a bit lost." He was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes you just want to touch the ball, don't you?
yeah, that's right. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. You just want to touch the ball. Yeah, Sancho came on and for all intents and purposes, he had a really good half.
Very good.
To be fair, a lot of Man United fans were like, "Where was this guy
Yeah,
for the last 2 years?" And it was Sancho who linked up with another substitute who came on in
Very
Kunku
good goal.
to create the goal. So Sancho picked up the ball on the left, got past a couple players, fizzed it into Nkunku, took a really good touch, and then got a little bit lucky with a ricochet, but he done well to
strength.
react,
And he held them off.
held off two players, got through the middle of them, and with a nice tidy finish
Yeah,
in the bottom corner in the 86th minute. Again, Bournemouth will feel a little bit aggrieved that they didn't come away with at least a point in
Yeah.
this game. But we'll see with another game that we'll talk about in a bit. If you don't score a penalty in the first half and take your chances, these are the things that can punish
Yeah.
you, especially with the more established teams
Yeah.
in the Premier League. So yeah, Chelsea. What are Chelsea now? They're up to 8th, 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. That was Bournemouth's first defeat of the season,
Yeah.
actually. So they started the season well.
Yeah.
And I think they can take good heart going into the next game. They got Liverpool next game. So hopefully not.
Bournemouth's got Liverpool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hopefully not too
I
much.
think for and the reason again, like we've done our predictions, and I look at Chelsea, I just think their defense is going to let them down. And you've dropped what's his name? Did he join Crystal Palace in the end? Shalaba.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, none of them look better than Shalaba.
Yeah, he could fit in really, really well.
None of them look better. I think he would bring more security in their back line because none of them right now. Tosin looked all right when he came on.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, they looked a little bit more. And I'm surprised he hasn't started more games.
Tosin
Maybe
looked all right.
Tosin and Colwill might be your partnership. And he's even said that there's a way back for Chilwell because obviously he didn't get a move before the transfer deadline. So
And yeah, so Tosin looked okay. So what happened to Enzo? Was he injured?
something happened to him.
Well,
I
he
can't
wasn't,
remember what-
he
yeah,
wasn't
but
on the
yeah,
bench.
yeah, but he
he's
didn't-
not
yeah.
injured though either.
Yeah, no.
So I think the other issue for Chelsea right now, I think Caicedo, I think he had a good end towards last season. I think people have been unfair to him. I think yesterday he looked good. He took the ball. I think again, people point at him, but it's the system and players not knowing where they need to be at the right time. The question is going to be though, is Maresca going to be given the time to get it right? Because
He should be.
he should, but we don't know with this ownership. So we say he should be,
He should be.
but come the end of the season, the ownership might go, well, you didn't finish here. We wanted top four. We wanted FA Cup. You didn't achieve the targets. Bye.
Yeah.
We're gonna go for someone else.
And we know there's a bit of a power struggle there.
And there's a power
at the top
So
at the minute. So
that's it. Because if he does get the time, he might get it right. But I thought Caicedo done relatively well. Vega, I thought he done well. I think he's going to be two of one thing. He's going to be like Rodri, and everyone's going to think he's an absolute amazing signing.
Yeah.
Or he's just going to be a poor man's Rodri, and everyone's going to feel, yeah, this guy's a dud. And Chelsea went and spent 35 million or whatever it was on him.
yeah. And to be fair, I might have been a bit harsh on him. Like he's only 21 and he's coming into a new league, etc. So yeah, I shouldn't be
I thought he was all right. I think there's something to build with him and Caicedo, but Lavia's the guy. So it's either him, Lavia, But yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, definitely. Right, moving on. Manchester United against Southampton. I say the
Mm.
Dell, they don't play the Dell. Showing my age, yeah.
Mhm.
At St Mary's. So Southampton 0, Man United 3. So as I just said, team not taking their
Mm.
golden chance when it comes to them. So if you don't know, Southampton were awarded a penalty in the first half. I can't remember who got tripped.
Diblin, I think.
Yeah, and had to go to VAR because check whether out the box. It was just inside the box.
Yeah.
I think he got the ball outside the box. The
And
man
came in on
inside,
the line.
man,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
inside the box. One of those ones. And um, yeah, Archer steps up to take the penalty, and another one just
You look
don't
confident.
look confident. Like in these moments, you just
Yeah.
want right. I'm a Premiership player.
Yeah,
How many penalties have I taken in training?
yeah, yeah.
Maybe in the lower league or whatever. Just put it in the back of the net,
Yeah.
man. Come on. Like, but yeah, it's a good save from Onana. I know he's been a bit he's had his critics,
Yeah.
especially with penalties he's faced, etc. But yeah, pulled up with a good save. And then 2 minutes later, Manchester United go down the other end and De Ligt pops up with a header, scored his first goal for Man United,
Yeah.
puts them 1-0 up. And you just think,
Yeah.
one of those games.
Yeah.
Don't take your chances. And Southampton played okay. Like it wasn't as if Man United were all over them, and they were in the game. Like it wasn't
Quality,
it wasn't a great game, but it's just those fine moments. And Man United took theirs, and then just before half time, Diallo short pass to Rashford, takes a curling shot, and I don't want to be too harsh on Ramsdale, but it goes through a lot of bodies
Yeah.
before it goes in the net. So I think he just might have seen it late. Maybe if he anticipates it, he might be able to do
Yeah.
better, but I'm being a little bit harsh there on him.
Garnacho.
And then, yeah, Garnacho wraps it up.
Nice finish. Nice
It-
goal.
yeah, it
nice
was.
team goal actually.
It was a very very good goal, and he's got a bit of a trademark celebration now that he's stolen from Ronaldo.
Yeah, that's his
um,
idol.
Yeah, there was talk that he was dropped because he liked
A comment.
So I think he liked the Instagram post that referenced Cristiano Ronaldo's comments about
Oh,
Ten Hag. So we'll touch on that quickly.
yeah.
So we all know that.
So I just want to highlight though,
you go.
that red card from Stevens.
Oh.
That was filthy.
But when I saw it in real time, I was like, it's a late challenge,
Yeah.
yellow card. When they slowed it down, I was like, yeah, you meant that.
You meant that.
Yeah.
That was the
Came in,
It's
caught,
not needed in the game
caught him
whatsoever.
caught him on his knee, weren't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it wasn't needed at all. But he's gonna get banned for 3 games now.
Yeah.
So should have thought about it. So yeah, just
comments.
referencing back to Cristiano Ronaldo. So on his YouTube channel, he's been having a bit of a powwow with
Rio.
Rio Ferdinand, and a few snippets keep on getting released here and there. And essentially, Cristiano Ronaldo said that Eric Ten Hag shouldn't be coming out and saying that Man United are not capable of challenging
For the title.
or winning the title because it's Manchester United. And the history with Manchester United, they should, no matter what, you can think it internally,
But not.
but never say it publicly.
Yeah.
And it's divided opinion a little bit.
Yeah.
Because obviously, he's worked under Ten Hag
Yeah.
briefly, so he knows what the manager's about.
Yeah.
So it might be right for someone like Ronaldo to kind of come out and say this.
Yeah.
And other people are like, well, no, it's not for you to comment on what's happening at Manchester United.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
Two things can be true, innit? Like, and it's for me, it's what is your intentions of your comments?
Yeah.
You know, like saying if you dressed it in the way of saying like, oh, ideally I wouldn't want him to say that publicly, but there is some truth in there or whatever. Because right, if we look at the United squad, we know they're not good enough. Whether it's partly to do with the manager, but actually it's the manager and the squad. The squad's just not good enough when you look at the personnel that they've got, each individual player. And we know what the Dutch managers are like. Or they're very candid and very honest in their assessments of what's going on in front of their eyes. And that's what he's done. He looked at it and there's stuff going on. But within that same thing, we're not in the same interview. Ronaldo saying the whole club needs restructuring, needs a new stadium, needs a new training ground. So if you're saying that, why can't Ten Hag say, actually, this squad's not nowhere near where we want it to be and I'm working on it? He's not saying he's not trying to get there. He's just saying,
right now,
we're not there.
We're not ready. Yeah, and I agree. Like, I think you go back to the whole Dutch thing and they're very kind of straight-laced and say it as it is.
Yeah.
Like, they're not really going to sugarcoat. That's fine. But yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo's comments don't really help with the situation at the minute. And I'm going to throw Man United a little bit of grace at the minute because even though Ten Hag's been there, this is his third season.
Yeah.
This is the first season under Ineos.
Yeah.
It's the first season with
Backstage.
not a whole new backroom staff, but new assistant managers, etc. So I think for some are seeing it as year 3 for Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Internally, they might be seeing it as year 1.
Yeah.
Like, you were
We've
doing
got a
all
new-
this under the Glaziers. Now we're here. This is
The system.
us now.
This is the new
So
infrastructure.
maybe that's why he was kind of kept on. Right. This is ground zero now.
Yeah.
Let's take it from here. So that might be the thinking and that might be why he said it.
And you know what else is interesting? Like, Ronaldo couldn't resist, could he? When he just dropped a little nugget about Rude Van Nistelrooy. Like, he said, oh, Rude's there. Rude know what it's like. I was like, I don't know.
Why
It's just
not?
playing pressure on. So
He does know what he does know.
he does.
yeah,
So
it's interesting.
it is interesting. It is interesting.
So yeah, good win for Manchester United after they lost their last game. Southampton, I think they're going to struggle. They're still trying to play out from the back. We had this debate last year with Burnley and company about should he change his style, etc. Russell Martin might just need to think about when he changes because
and you know,
it's not quite working.
And you know the other thing, it's not just Southampton, but it's quite a few of the teams. They're trying to play out, and they haven't got the
Personnel.
reactive or the personnel to react to the type of press. We saw today Tottenham struggled at times to play out from the back, the way Arsenal pressed him. And it's not just Tottenham. There's loads of teams that are trying to play out from the back, but they don't know how to adapt or react to the press. You know.
Yeah.
So actually, let's just go long. And we saw that with Man City. We'll just go long. You know.
Yeah. Moving on, Manchester City and the robot.
Terminator.
Haaland.
My fantasy football league didn't go well this week.
You know what? I was like, Salah, Haaland. Yeah, Salah. Let me go against the grain. Let me be hipster. Oh, mate.
I've had a bad week this week. I'm not even looking at the table right now.
Anyway, Manchester City 2, Brentford 1. So Brentford gave everyone a little bit of hope in the first minute.
25 seconds.
Wissa, fastest goal of the Premiership this season. Edison was at fault for this one. Like, let the shot squirm under him, pops up into the air, Wissa. Nice little follow-up, 1-0 up after the first minute. You think, right, are they going to hold out?
Yeah.
Or could Brentford be the last team to win at the Etihad? Or will it just be like the last game where City concedes early, concede the first goal and go on to win? And it happened to be the latter. And the boy Haaland with another 2 goals. Even could have had a hat-trick because he had a good chance in the second half as well. And do you know what grinds my gears the most about City right now?
What's that?
Rodri and Foden aren't even starting. They're on the bench. And we were talking about like the squad depth earlier, etc. They haven't even got injuries. They're just like,
We'll just give you a rest.
Yeah, we'll bring in Grealish. We'll bring in Gundogan back.
Yeah.
Kovacic can play.
Yeah. I think there is some, like, you can see that if they don't get the next couple windows right, they might struggle the following season to be top 2. And what I mean by that, I know I put them third in my list. It's just that they're conceding some chances that they usually concede. There's a little bit of frailty in their team.
Yeah.
Roger might change that, when he comes back in. But I just noticed over the this last season and this season,
Yeah, they're a lot more open, aren't
they're a
they?
little bit more
Like,
open than they used to be.
I know
They're not-
you and John shot me down, but even I said against West Ham, they looked more vulnerable than what I've seen them of
yeah,
late. And they've conceded a goal in every game, which is not, I wouldn't say it's unlike Manchester City, but it's happening more and more over like last season,
yeah,
this season. Like
yeah,
they used to shut up shop really
yeah,
well, where that seemed to have kind of fallen by the
yeah.
wayside
And people a bit
a little
older in
bit.
their team. Look, what Stones is 31? I think
Stones.
John Stones is in his 30s now. Who you got? Who else you got? Diaz, a bit older.
Yeah, we know KDB is, yeah, Stones is 30.
Ake's
It's been there a
Ake's
while.
injured, ain't he? Right?
Yeah, but they're still grinding out the
They ran out. Rico Lewis is very good, but not as physical as Carl Walker. So
yeah,
there's little things, chinks that are appearing in their armor. They might
yeah.
be able to rectify it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and to
But
be fair, he brought Rodri came on at half time,
yeah,
and Bardiol came on at half time as well for Lewis. Like Walker started his first game of the
yeah,
season, so it seems like he's blooding players
yeah.
back in,
And
etc.
can I just say something though about Haaland, the Terminator? I'm calling him Terminator now because that second goal, what he done to Ethan Pitt, just stood in front of him and blocked him
Like, move.
and bombed in on goal and then
Yeah.
dinked it.
Yeah.
Class.
Pinnock should have been stronger though. Like it's naive because he was 1-on-1 with Haaland. I know like Edison's got the ball at his feet. You're not really expecting him to launch it that long.
Yeah,
Well, he can do it, but you think he's 70 yards away, so it's all right.
yeah, but
But yeah, he should have been a bit stronger. Um, you mentioned that Manchester City might not win it title in the next couple of years. They might not even be in the Premiership in the next couple of years. So for those of you that don't know, the court case for Manchester City's 115 charges,
Yeah.
the trial starts
It's
tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? I thought it started.
No, it starts.
Tomorrow,
Yeah, it
tomorrow.
starts.
I know it started. Yeah,
It starts tomorrow.
in a secret location.
Yeah, it's very, very hush hush. So in summary, the charges relate to Manchester City failing to provide accurate details for player and manager payments from the 2009-10 season to 2017-18 season on 14 occasions.
Mm.
And I know there's been this whole furore about, well, Everton were duck points because of their case, and so were Nottingham Forest. They were just quite simple FFP failures. They spent too much money when they weren't meant to,
Yeah.
and that was very cut and dry. That's why
Yeah.
those cases were dealt with. This is a lot a lot more intricate.
Cooking the books.
And when this all came out, apparently there were like 50,000 pages of evidence to go through. So that's why it's taken so long. It's not as cut as dry as you spent more than what you were meant to.
Yeah,
It's all
because
about
they got fake sponsorships.
yeah, and apparently Roberto Mancini was paid into like bank
Two
accounts that
yeah,
weren't in his
two
name
contracts
and things like that. So
yeah,
that's why this has taken so long. And don't be surprised if this court case goes
drags.
on for a long time as well. People are saying if they are found guilty of however many charges, the sanctions will be quite serious. And I think it's up to the Premier League to kind of get this right.
Yeah.
Essentially, because if they don't,
What's the message you're sending out?
what's the message you're sending out? Could it open up for other Premiership teams to kind of file cases against the Premier League saying you didn't act correctly,
Yeah.
etc.? So I can understand why the Premier League have taken their time over this. You've got Manchester City who are backed by the richest and the best, and they can get lawyers for
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
and pay anything. So they know that their defence team is watertight. So the Premiership have to go with something tangible
yeah,
that can hold up in whatever court this is being held in.
yeah.
So yeah, we just
Yeah,
need to
it's a
watch
lot.
this space.
Like you
But,
said, sponsorships that lose finance deals, that fake sponsors, people being paid through two contracts.
Yeah, it's tricky. So yeah, don't be surprised if
Failing to submit evidence.
this is an asterisk Premier League
Yeah,
season. If Arsenal won the league and Manchester City were docked, a serious amount of points, would you still celebrate it, or would you be like, it's a little bit of the tinge of happiness is taken away from it, or would you just be like, I don't care, they should have sorted out what they had to sort out?
Unfortunately, I would be. I don't care because you haven't played by the rule books. Playing amateur football, there's teams that's been docked 3 points. I don't cry about, well, I didn't really win the league or I didn't win this game because they got docked 3 points because they never adhered to the rules, and that's what it would be. You're never gonna win it. It's like people look at the invincible season. People will say, "Oh, but you drew 12 games, and that's not really a title winning team because the next team won the league by this amount of points." And they look,
it is what it is.
it
Basically,
is what it is. Like people say the Liverpool league win was based on COVID season.
It
One-
wasn't. But it's fine.
But I'm just saying,
Oh, no,
I'm just
clarifying.
sharing. Could say the same for the FA Cup.
It's all good.
It's all good. So that's where we're at. So if there was a points deduction and we won the league based on those 3 points or 10 points, so be it. Because even if they lost, they got deducted 10 points, Liverpool or Chelsea might finish, or Aston Villa might finish 4 points behind us or 5 points behind us.
Yeah. He said, and that's the thing, even if Manchester City are the points, whoever does for this season, whoever does win the league would have got more points than everyone else. So you would have won the league. So
that's it.
It is what it is. Right, let's wrap up the rest of the fixtures. So Crystal Palace 2, Leicester 2.
Mateta.
This was a
He might go
game.
in my fantasy team.
This was a game that Crystal Palace had to get something out of.
Yeah.
And going 2-0 down, Vardy showing
Oi.
showing he can still score 2 in 4 at his age, back in the Prem.
I know. He out-sprinted Gay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Rounded the keeper too.
rounded
Like,
it.
yeah, it was a good goal. And then
Snuff from Red Bull worked. He must have took like
yeah,
10 cans of Red Bull.
keep him going in there.
Yeah.
Mavrididi puts 2-0 up,
Yeah,
and you think,
nice goal.
"Ooh, what's gonna go on?" Crystal Palace. A lot of people were raving about Glasner at the back end of last season.
Yeah.
What's going on? But the boy Mateta, John questioned whether he can take his form into this season,
Yeah,
and he
he
seems
did.
to have been doing it. I wouldn't say he was fortunate with the first goal, but it was tight.
The offside was tight, but
Yeah,
you got to be there to finish it.
He was in the right place at the right time to make it 2-1, and then
The penalty.
a nice little penalty to wrap it up. I've seen him take a few penalties actually.
Yeah,
he's good at
composing them now,
he's
yeah.
good at penalties. That's what I mean. Penalty, he's gonna score. You're not worried,
he's
innit?
either
Like,
slotting
that's
it,
it,
rolling
like-
it,
yeah,
blazing it into the top corner. Like
Just-
he's mixing it up. Yeah.
just does a job. Does Glasner need to kick on now? Like, as I said, waxing lyrical about him at the back end of last season. They sold Anderson for big money,
Mhm.
brought in the guy from France, Lacroix, for half the money.
But Germany.
Was it Germany? Sorry, I
He's
thought
from
he
Germany,
came in France. He's meant to be a really good player. They've got Nketiah now. They kept Eze, which is
Yeah.
just as
He's
good
been
as
good. He's been good.
as a new signing.
I
Should
think-
he be aiming for top 10, or is that out of their reach?
I think that's a bit out of their reach just because of they haven't got for me a right back that's strong enough yet.
Still got.
Well,
Klein.
they got the Colombian guy, right? Muniz. But anyway, I think they just need a few additional additions to their team. But I think they are going to settle. Mateta's starting to find his feet.
Yeah.
And he's looking dangerous. He's looking like he's going to get 12 to 15 goals this season. He performed well towards the end of last season. He performed well in the Olympics.
Yep.
So I don't think this is just it's a very long purple patch. If it's a purple patch, your purple patches last for about a month.
I think he's about it now.
I think he's found himself and he knows what he's supposed to do now. So yeah, I think they've got a good foundation. I just think the sell of Anderson and Elise has kind of disrupted their progress a little bit. But I think they're going to find their feet again and be a solid battling for top 10.
Okay, fair enough. Fulham won, West Ham won. So Jimenez scored for Fulham, an assist from
Emil Smith-Rowe.
Smith Rowe, who settled into life in Fulham pretty well. And who scored for West Ham? Oh, Ings in the
Your boy set up the
90,
equaliser.
95th minute, Bowen set
Cut
him
back
up.
for Ings, yeah.
Yeah, I think Fulham will be a little bit annoyed that they conceded so late because they defended really well actually.
Yeah.
From the highlights that I saw, but Ings had good feet. Another one of John's guys who doesn't really rate too much. You want to see the lineups here because I know West Ham have kind of spent a bit. So yeah, still playing Antonio up front. I'm not sure if Fulkrug was injured. He wasn't on the bench. He had a ankle injury, he says. What do you think for Fulham and West Ham? West
I
Ham
think
should be back challenging for Europe, do you think? Or
I think they got definitely. I think West Ham's going to be should be, and the fans should be a lot more disappointed that they don't seem to be kicking on at the moment.
yeah, so
And
it's
maybe
4
this is what
points for
you
them.
wish. This is what you get. You know, you wish for a new manager, and
You're saying the grass ain't always greener.
the
Is that what
grass
you're
is not
saying?
always greener. You know, and I don't know. I just look at them and I just think when you're starting with Mafropanos, that you got rid of Kurt Zuma, but I'm having Zuma over Mafropanos.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, so
100%. And yeah, Kilman's like they've got a good team in it. It's just might just take a while for them to get used to the new manager style, etc. And yeah, Fulham done well, man. Like Traore was just a nuisance
Yeah.
in the game as he is. We know Iwobi's good. Pereira, Smith Rowe, we know what they can do. So yeah, those are the teams that are going to be like in that kind of 8th to 14th kind of battle in it. That's what they're going to.
And Jimenez got rid of his headband, hasn't he?
Yeah, I noticed that.
I was like, I see with the
is
cane rolls.
Is that
Oh,
allowed?
yeah,
Like, shouldn't
Nothing when he wearing it by choice.
Yeah.
He was wearing it for his own choice.
But he had a bad injury. Like Czech wore it all the way through, innit? Czech never took it off.
Yeah,
Like,
I think Chet was just being a bit
he
dramatic.
said he was milking it. Yeah,
Yeah, he was just like, all
a bit,
right, bro.
bit of sympathy.
Yeah. I was like,
Fair
okay,
enough.
bro.
And then final 2 games: Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. I didn't see much of this. Thought it was 0-0. I didn't really pay much attention, but considering how well Brighton have started, it's not a bad point for
It's not a
Ipswich.
bad, no, definitely not a bad
Going
point.
there, you know, other teams have gone there and lost this season.
I think.
Man United. So
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bad point. There was little moments, but it weren't enough. I think again, Ipswich just showing that they're a very solid team. They know how to play football. Again, it's just personnel. You
Yeah.
know, that's going to be their biggest issue in terms of the quality of the ones the squad players they bring on, and how that impacts on them for the rest of the season.
Yep. And just wrap up the weekend's result. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. So Wolves went ahead for a goal through Lamina. Did you see the goal? I can't remember who dummied it.
No, Gomez won the ball
Yeah.
off of Longstaff, played it forward, and then he sprinted
Yeah.
and done the dummy.
Yeah. So Larson crossed it in.
Yeah,
And
he
then,
dummied it.
And then Lamina tucked it away.
That was a quality goal,
Really
but-
good goal. And then
Shaw
Sher equalised and Harvey Barnes with the winner.
I missed the winner.
Yeah, I was driving up here, so I
Yeah.
missed the goals. But yeah, Newcastle up to 3rd, 10 points.
And it was quite aggressive by Eddie Howe. Like he had to make a change for Isak because something happened to his nose. They said he
Yeah.
couldn't stem the bleeding of the nose. He brought 3 subs on at half
on
time.
at half time. Yeah.
And Harvey Barnes got a goal who he brought on. Joe Willett looked quite comfortable on. And who else did he bring on? Oh, no, was it Kieran Trippier? No.
Second. He brought on Tonali
That's it. He brought
for
us to know.
Longstaff, Barnes for Isak, and
And
Willett for
Trippier came on
yeah,
later.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, Trippier came on
Who did Trippier come on for? Lewis?
later. He came on for Livramento.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it
Lewis.
would be Lewis. I don't know why Lewis is still in this team, but sorry. I watched this guy, I'm like,
You're like
Anyway.
not having him.
I'm not having him. However, I don't know if it's fitness for Wolves because they seem to fade around the
They
hour
are-
mark. Because the first 45, they were playing some nice football. The midfield 3 was linking up really well. Newcastle couldn't get close to them. Gomez is. I'm watching him because I think he's very tidy. There's some really good stuff about Gomez when he plays.
Yeah.
Wolves seem to be mirroring the kind of Brighton, not as good as Brighton, but the Brighton kind of an Ajax kind of model, more so Brighton in terms of signing really good players. They seem to have a good Brazilian scout because they brought in a few.
Yeah.
Is it Andre who plays? Yeah, Andre and
Yeah,
Gomez.
Liverpool were looking at that Andre guy a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But they're shipping goals though. So like they've got 1 point from 4 games.
Yeah,
Like they lost to Arsenal, fair enough. Then they lost heavily at home to Chelsea.
but that was end to end. That I don't
well,
think the scoreline really
it's just the
reflects the
second
game.
half, they got a draw in Nottingham Forest, and then they I wouldn't say they were second best today, but they were in the game a little bit, but they just couldn't hang on into it, innit?
Yeah, like I said, it's like around the hour mark, you just saw the drop off, and then they were pressed back. But yeah, maybe it's a system, maybe it's personnel, maybe Gomez and Andre, because Andre is small and Gomez, they're not big centre midfielders. Maybe the team's a bit too small.
Yeah, and they might just need a bit of time to gel, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the roundup of the fixtures. Just do like a quick rundown of the table. So City are top, four wins out of 4, 12 points. So it's next with Arsenal and Newcastle with 10 points each, just dropping 2 points in one game. And you got Liverpool, Villa, Brighton, Forest, and Chelsea. Then propping up the table, Everton and Southampton yet to win, and Wolves, Ipswich, Crystal Palace. Just do a little look ahead for the week. So we've got the Champions League starting this week. So let's have a look at a couple of their key fixtures.
Arsenal, Atlanta.
So yeah, Arsenal have got just so many fixtures.
I'm looking forward to this.
It's crazy. Juventus, PSV, AC Milan, v Liverpool, Real Madrid are playing Stuttgart, Manchester City v Inter Milan, PSG, Girona. Who else we got on the Wednesday? Let's say Arsenal travel to Atalanta, Atletico Madrid v Leipzig. So yeah, some good games, and the EFL Cup starts as well. Not the EFL Cup. The League Cup starts this week as well. So it's split over 2 weeks. There's some fixtures this week, some fixtures next week. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of football coming thick and fast over the next month. Because unfortunately, we've got international break again in October. But yeah, thank you very much for listening.
No championship update or.
Nah, not this week. I was too traumatized from Liverpool. I'm back with a championship update next week. But yeah, you want to say like, subscribe, share. We've had some interesting comments on the TikToks this week. So yeah, keep it going, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
All right, see you later.